Okay, so why exactly study the Caucasus Mountains? First of all, they are placed somewhere between the Caspian and the Black Sea. So essentially, it's recognized as one of the major biodiversity hotspots in the world. Because of this, it's also an important refugial area, especially in the Caucasus lowland in Georgia. Very little is known about Gammarus here. Actually, subterranean fauna was much better studied. So, okay, we were wondering in terms of diversity that we see here, and compare this to other places, especially like Europe. So, initially, for his first screening, so we looked at 500 specimens from a bunch of sites from all over the region. And we assigned these to 6 morphospecies based on certain characters and character combinations. We barcoded them using CO1, then we applied a bunch of single local species delimitation methods. But we also tried to see which of these methods or is in best agreement with the others in terms of partitioning the species, and then we also tried to estimate how much of the diversity we uncovered. So basically, among these 6 morphospecies, we see like a really big variation in the number of lineages. So here the ASAP method was the one which was most congruent with the rest, so we were sticking to this value. So we have between 1 and 66 lineages in these species complexes. So basically, like this is not so diverse, and then we have this monstrosity in Gammarus tiny. We have also pretty contrasting patterns of genetic divergence within lineages, so from 5 to 25%. What was particularly interesting was that most of the motus, so almost at 80%, were found at a single locality. But we will also need to study more specimens because in general we had just a few specimens per lineage. And these species accumulation curves and extrapolation overall indicate that we sampled around 50% of the diversity, but this really differs a lot between lineages. So in Balkanicus, estimated around 70% of diversity is covered, but in Birstein or Pumex, it's a little more than a third. So it's interesting that Birstein was the most sampled and you know the most well sampled in terms of number of specimens, but still we are just barely scratching the surface. A bit about ecology, we see a clear decrease in the number of lineages with altitude, and that most of them occur in headwaters, so springs, streams, and so on. So basically, the main messages are that we have a lot of diversity between clades with respect to the number of lineages, a lot of endemism, still a lot of sampling remains to be done. These motos might actually be quite vulnerable from a conservation point of view, but these results clearly show that the Caucasus is definitely an important hotspot diversification for Gammarus. So, thank you.
Obviously, any mountains we go to, maybe except northern Scandinavia,
or the tropics for sure.
So, question, comment.
Thank you, Dennis. Very, very interesting first results. This Gammarus Birstein, it's incredible. Is it over a large geographical range that you have collected those 66, if I don't miss out the numbers, motifs, or is it more narrow distribution?
So most of these in Birstein, they are known from a single site.
But sorry, maybe I didn't explain myself well. Is it across the whole Caucasus that you found 66, or is it within a narrow distribution in all of them?
They are pretty dispersed, but it seems that the western part seems to be more diverse, but we'll have to.
Incredible. Thank you.